What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dynamo22 back for my once-a-year upload. And it's been so long since I last uploaded that they've actually released a sequel to my favorite game. So I know we're all excited about that. That's right, I'm talking about Duelyst 2, of course. Yes, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were both revealed and released since the last time I uploaded anything. But that's not what we're going to play today. I will get some of that in the future, I promise. But I did actually record a few things in the time since that the first reveal trailer existed, but I just wasn't really feeling in a good mood when I recorded those. It was one of those, like, I've had an opportunity to record, so I felt obligated to. I just didn't feel like those videos turned out well, so never say that this channel has no standards whatsoever. They may be low, but there are things that I will record and just feel like they probably weren't up to stuff to upload, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about, as I said, a game I enjoyed quite a lot back in the day. Mega Mogwai, who was at the time a Pokemon YouTuber, even though he has since moved on from our community in that sense, put me onto it. Ironically, when it was in beta, as you see, Duelyst 2 is in beta, but it is playable. And I had a lot of fun with it. I've never really played any of these games before, this genre of game, but I would describe it as Hearthstone, but better. I don't play Hearthstone, so, keep that in mind when you compare it to your own opinion of Hearthstone. But basically, it's Hearthstone, but with a board. So, like, you have to move and be in range of stuff. And as you can see, there are 5 factions, and each faction has 2 general, I don't know if playstyles is, but they have 2 things that they do, and you can mix and match their cards, of course, however you want, but their themes basically, Vitruvian either summons temporary minions called dervishes, or they do blast stuff, including the general. They're also a very equip heavy archetype. I mean, every archetype has their equips, but Vitruvian is kind of even more focused around it than most. Linar is kind of a healing archetype mostly, along with, they're like noble knights, so they always fight next to the general. And, they have pretty decently statted minions because they're armored and stuff. Magmar is mostly big beater dudes, including, their general. They like to do combat with their general with, like I said, equipable artifacts. That's what they're called in this game. And they summon big beefy dudes, and then they have combos focused around units that are damaged, because obviously they have a lot of health to begin with. Songhai is the most degenerate faction in this game, in my opinion, especially if you have the good Songhai cards. Like, the base Songhai stuff is, their concept is fun and cool, but their playstyle with their good cards, when you don't have the good cards because the beta just came out, is quite annoying to play against. But generally, they are ninjas, so they will either do direct spell damage to your face, or they will stab you in the back. Literally, backstab is a keyword that they have. And then Vanar is mainly positional-based archetype. They get bonuses when they're on your side of the field, and then they have ways of punishing you if you're on the other side of the field trying to hide from there. And they also transform things a lot, so both your opponent's minions, depending on whether you think the minion you're transforming would get weaker or stronger by their new form. And then what I'm going to be playing today is Abyssian. And Abyssian is kind of a... I don't know if control is the right word for their archetypes, but they summon a lot of little things, and then they get advantage off those things dying. That's the kind of deck I'm going to be playing. They also have Shadow Creep, which they put little spike traps on the ground, and then they hurt you when you step on them, of course, and they have various combos off of that. But yes, so I'm assuming most of you watching this won't have a background in Duelyst, so I'll try to be explaining things as I go. Maybe that's an incorrect assumption, as people who click this video would only because they've actually heard of Duelyst before, and if you've not, you would never even be interested. But you start with your mana, at a very low amount, and then you gain 1 mana every turn. These 3 orbs here in the middle are mana tiles, so you temporarily gain 1 mana for that turn if you enter them. So the early game is all about playing low-cost things and making use of these mana tiles to make plays. As you can see, I obviously did not get any 2-cost minions on the first turn, so I just equipped an artifact, because otherwise I couldn't do anything at all. But as you can see, he summoned a 3-attack guy. The Fenrir War Master does summon another guy when you kill him, but I mean, you still gotta kill him. This unit, the Mechazor Assassin, can kill any nearby minion that has 3 attacks, so we get some amount of, again, I'm not a connoisseur of this type of genre, so I don't know if advantage is the right way to describe that, but we got some play out of, we killed half of his powers. I don't know. He summoned a guy that you have to kill twice, and we killed him once for free, so kind of lowers his inherent utility. But obviously he's probably going to want to trade his 3-1 for my 3-1, and we do see the Lady Lock here, which is kind of an interesting thing to play early, because he doesn't have that much mana, but since he grabs 2 mana tiles, he can play the walls. I forgot, Vanar's other things, I like to play walls, and with Lady Lock, you can, give them increased stat boost. Anything else he plays this turn will become a provoke minion, which is like taunt. You have to attack it, and you can't move away from it as well. So he did kind of get us there in terms of he killed all of our minions, and he summoned a bunch of his own. And unfortunately, we did not get anything to summon, so we're gonna have to play some combination of spells. I think I'll just go ahead and do this. This does 4 damage to every, or not 4, it's 4 mana, but it does 2 damage to every minion on the board, which will kill 2 of them. This one goes back to his hand if he's on this side of the board. Like I said, they all have, generally they have powers that they are on this side of the board. So, unfortunately, there's not much we can really do about that, but it's not off to the greatest start this game, I would say, but you can definitely come back, because there's a lot of really powerful cards in this game, just generally as a rule. And so as you get to higher mana turns, if you get good cards and your opponent does not have ways to counter them, then, being behind in the early game is not the worst thing, unless you're playing against a deck that can, snowball, where they take advantage of the lead to summon things that you can't beat. So we're going to see the Primus Fist, which I believe is a mistake, because, again, Primus Fist gives nearby guys +1 attack when you summon it, and he summoned it first, when he could have summoned this first, and then, boosted it with that. But that's only if he wanted to play it next to it. If he wanted to try and I don't know, block me in however he thinks he's accomplishing that here, then you know, it didn't matter because he couldn't have got that boost anyway. This is just a generic neutral card that has Rush, which is the only way you can attack on the first turn. And again, this isn't like a foolproof strategy, but I am going to walk over to this side of the board because, like I said, his guys get power on my side of the board. And one of the nice things about Abyssian that makes me enjoy playing them is even with, you know, mostly just generic, not high rarity cards in my deck, you can deal decently well both aggro, where, you know, you're both just trying to get the opponent's general to 0 as fast as possible, and in like a longer game where you're running away and building up minions and then trying to send something strong at them after you've had time to do that, and, you know, fighting from across the board. So positioning is a big thing. Now, unfortunately, this is a legendary Jack's True Sight. If you've played Duelyst at all, you are very familiar with him. He's quite infamous, but unfortunately, the best card in this deck to get rid of that, I already played, and so my odds I think I have 2 copies of it, but my odds of getting the second one are now much lower. So he summons all these ranged units in every corner of the board, which of course means that they can shoot you from far away, and you can't really do anything about that. So I will be doing my best to kill as many of them as possible, but yeah, I summon a lot of little guys, so he can shoot them all with his 1/1s for free, pretty much. I was only able to get rid of 2 of them, and this one, obviously, I should be able to prevent from going anywhere and kill it next turn. But he did get 2 ranged units that are going to be hard to deal with. Generally speaking, I have ways to dealing with them, but I'd rather obviously use those on stronger things than 1/1s, so he can summon, you know, something more threatening on a future turn, and basically it tasks resources, which is why he's legendary, of course. Everyone loves good old Jack's True Sight. He was definitely a fairly meta-defining card for a lot of the beginning of Duelyst 1. I suppose I should mention that when this says Duelyst 2, the main difference between it and Duelyst 1, there are various balancing changes to cards, because one thing about Duelyst 1 is it was infamously not very balanced, which caused it to go through a lot of changes, and, you know, you can argue with players then which of any of them were good and which ones were balanced, but the fact that it needed to be balanced was not exactly breaking news. Yeah, I will trade our 1/1s here, since this damage mine doesn't, and I will be using this spell to deal 1 damage, since it's 1 health, and fortunately I kind of killed this guy, so I can keep this unit alive, and I'll just summon the Glue Tracer and end my turn. But yes, Duelyst 1 died, unfortunately. So Duelyst 2, the main thing that makes it a sequel is the fact that you can play it, which, you know, is a pretty relevant difference when you compare it to, like, Overwatch 2, which is basically just with bounce. In this case, I'm totally okay with that, because you couldn't play Duelyst 1 anymore, so Duelyst 2 it is. But as you can see, the board is now cleared of everything except his 1 true Jack's True Sight left, which I will definitely take, considering the situation was not looking so great for me a couple turns ago. So back to mostly even. It's very acceptable to me. Unfortunately, I'm kind of running low on ways to deal with far away minions. I don't know how many of these battles I plan on doing in this video. Kind of somewhat depends on how quick they go, and I kind of just want to generally demonstrate what this game's like and why I like it so much. So as long as we get some cool plays in and stuff. Unfortunately, this is not going so great because he's protecting himself from any spell damage, so there's basically no chance I can get him now. And he summoned a bunch of guys with a lot of health, so I am in a lot of danger. Now, I'm hoping that it only deals with number damage and not insta-kills like this spell is. So I was able to at least get rid of the 7-3 guy, but as you can probably tell, I am in a lot of trouble. I'll just throw these out here, but yes, I was not hoping to see that combo of 3 minions being summoned there, if we're being honest. This guy obviously does the no spell damage, this guy gives everyone an attack boost, and the other guy got an attack boost whenever these opening gambit minions are summoned. So we might be losing this one. We might be losing this one slowly and painfully. So, you know, not the greatest first match, but we will get at least one, if not 2 more, just to kind of, you know, be a nice introduction to Duelyst. Like I said, it's in beta right now. It's free to play beta, so if you want to sign up, as you can see, my username is Kaiba, so you can use that when it says referral code. You can get, you know, packs and stuff. But yeah, honestly, if you got this far in the video, I'd love to know: have you heard and or watched anything Duelyst before? And what do you think of the game? Because I'm not entirely sure what happened with the first one that, you know, resulted in its failure and going under. It sure does look like a opening gambit type deck, which is, again, the Razorback kind of generally encourages this kind of playstyle where you just summon all these things and boost them up and kill your opponent, which in this case is me. And it's not looking like there's a whole lot I can do about this right now. I mean, I have technically plays I can make, but there's no chance my opponent is on this upcoming turn, so, you know, we're just kind of stalling. But maybe I should. This gives me Death Watch, which, again, my factions kind of build around getting bonuses when things die, so I probably should have played that and got the bonuses when those minions died, but like I said, there's 0% chance it was ever going to matter. So, we lose the first one. I'd literally been on like a 5-game win streak before that, which you hate to see, but didn't have the best cards to start off with, and we just ran into a bad matchup, and, you know, that's how it works in card games sometimes. I'm going to try the Mechazor deck. Again, this is missing a lot of theoretical Abyssian cards that would make it better, which is why I built it in Abyssian. But the Mechazor is just kind of a fun boss monster that is a neutral card, so you can play with any faction. And yeah, Abyssian I felt like has good cards to go with it, since the old Mechazor, you got the build progress when you summon the minions. This one you get that they die, and like I said, Abyssian's all about your own minions dying, generally speaking, so I thought it would work well with that, and there is an Abyssian to draw a card, which would be good with this, but like I said, that's a legendary, and I don't have it. But here we have a Vitruvian matchup where he's summoned one of these dervish things. However, we do have the Ephemeral Shroud, which is just a generic D-spell minion, and since he doesn't have any attack, these things can gain attack with like spells. Once you get rid of his effect where he summons minions every turn, it's basically just a useless thing. You can summon other minions next to it, since that's how summoning minions works. Unless they have airdrop, you have to... Oh, and there's one with airdrop. You have to summon it next to something you already own. He also... I don't know if he's literally just... No, so he's also playing a Mechazor deck, and it seems like he's opting to start with me because he has 3 Mechazor pieces on the board. But would be funny if I play this card and resummon them on my side of the field, since I'm trying to... You know what? I'm gonna do it. I am going to trade all these minions, giving, you know, him and the Mechazor Duelyst. Essentially, he's at 40%, and if this dies, he will get up to 60. However, I will summon everything that died this turn, so now I summoned 3 Mechazor things that turn, and I got this guy back. So that was kind of a fun combo you don't see very often, just because I happened to run into a Mechazor versus Mechazor matchup. I am also up to 40%, but unlike him, oh, he's summoned the chassis, which I do not have this card yet. Yeah, I can't actually kill him with any of my spells here, which is unfortunate to say the least. But I do get another Mechazor piece, which I will summon, and sacrifice this guy, damage. Sacrifice this guy, deal damage. And again, I wish I could dispel him because he wants me to kill the Mechazor pieces, just like I want him to kill my Mechazor pieces. But yeah, the chassis is protected, so there's not much I can do about that. He will be, of course, killing this guy on my general, so that puts him 1 away from Mechazor. The Mechazor has basically every single generic keyword, and you know the individual pieces have one of them. So again, the Mechazor also has Veil. Alright, so nice thing fighting Vitruvian with Abyssian is you can kill all these 0 attack guys with the Night Sorrow Assassin. And yeah, I think I just want to trade these guys because I now get the Mechazor. He has the airdrop and the range, so I can summon him over here. And he has the Veil. As you can see, he says, "Well played." And I won the battle of who can summon the Mechazor first, which should, you know, considering his only other minion on the board anywhere at all is this Despelled Obelisk, should come with a pretty good chance of winning. He can get the Mechazor if I kill that guy, I believe, but I think I can just... Well, he's ranged, so he can shoot the Mechazor and the Mechazor will shoot back and kill himself. but I think I can just start going face and, you know, just summoning other ones and just kind of ignore, because one thing the Mechazor does not have is Rush, so even though he can summon the Mechazor next turn, he can't do anything with it. Also, I have Keeper of the Veil, so I can summon a mini Mechazor, because he copies a guy but it's and one mana cost. And yes, he forfeits. So we defeated the Mechazor mirror match with our Mechazor, and I think those two games are just kind of a good place to end. Let me know if you'd be interested in any future Duelyst content. Like I said, I really truly love this game. I'm glad to see it back. I felt like I had to upload a video on it just because, one, it's kind of fun and easy to record, and two, the more people that see this game, maybe, you know, you can get into it and maybe it won't die this time. So that being said, I'm just going to do the 2 short games for now. If you would love any more Duelyst content in the future, like I said, feel free to leave any sort of comment, reach out to me, even on Twitter. You can add me as friends on Duelyst, like I said. And I hope you have a great day. That's all for me. I'll see you next time. Bye.